today's economy, the economic system is just desperate. It's desperate, and more people, I think, can see this, that this is a desperate system.
Market system which is around us is enabling greed to overcome over common sense and brought us to this situation in which we are completely irrationally and irresponsibly over-consuming natural resources and over-polluting nature around ourselves. This practice must be changed.
Modern economy is not about the well-being of the people. The well-being of the people, the welfare of the people is just a byproduct of modern economy. Economy is about accumulation of financial wealth. This is humanity's responsibility to try to work out an alternative which is viable. This one is not viable, this is not sustainable, and I think this must be the most important problem in economic thinking. What can we do about this economy which is destroying our future and planet?
Well, capitalist market economies are structured in such a way, they're a bit like an escalator in a shop. They just go up, that's the way they go. So there's all sorts of cogs that are built into this system that makes the economy grow. But none of those are insurmountable. You could do all sorts of things through policy to try and take that engine away so that economy doesn't have to grow. I'd say the flip side is not, does an economy have to grow, but is it possible for an economy to grow? Because look what it's doing to the planet. Is it possible for economic growth to continue indefinitely without popping the resources of this planet? That's the bigger question. Anybody who thinks that it's crazy to say we can live without growth, the onus is on them to prove that we can live with it.
The phrase gross domestic product or gross national product does not go back centuries. It was a relatively recent invention some decades ago, and the figure was invented in order to help politicians measure and demonstrate their success. So let's not imagine that gross domestic product has been with us since creation. It's not. It's new. We are led on this endless path of increasing GDP, perhaps because we have misinterpreted what makes happiness. Gross national happiness is simply development with a human face. The well-being and happiness of the citizens in a nation is really rather important. None of us want to live an unhappy life in an unhappy nation, do we? So I think gross national happiness should be a very clear aim of a society.
If we do take seriously the suggestion that the happiness, the well-being of people in our society is something that we need to attend to and prioritise, then the implications are really very wide-ranging. And crucially, we need to think about the education system and the education of our children to shift really from a competitive, status-driven way of judging ourselves and others. So we need to shift that to think more about helping others and being interested in developing the relationships that we have around us.
I certainly don't think this idea is romantic. It's not romantic at all. It's reality. It's what we all deep down in our hearts know. We read, don't we now, that children, rather than having the latest computer game or an expensive iPhone, actually what children say is what they really would like is quality time with mum and dad, which actually doesn't cost anything. You don't have to go out and buy it in a shop. But the problem is, for a government, it doesn't lead to an increase in GDP. But that's what children want. Not material possessions, but the human connection.
So it became clear to us that not only are there workable alternative economic models, it is essential to consider them seriously because infinite growth on a finite planet is simply not viable. Natural resources are not only the key to our economy, they are also the key to our very existence. The environment was an issue that was passionately discussed by everyone we spoke to.